First off, I do want to ask you, how was your day?
I had an amazing day today, wrapping up the week. Really good, effective meetings at work. Can't complain. It's been great. Happy Friday. Happy Thursday today. Happy Friday to everyone tomorrow.
That's right. Next video coming out on Sunday. Every Sunday and Wednesdays, we're dropping some conversations. In the future, expect some more participants, if you will.
That's right. So what are we talking about today, Adrian?
So one thing that I wanted to talk about is, I think, no, not working on the filler words. All right, so I'm going to restart. Um, One thing that I want to talk about is when we have our focus and our goals, a lot of the times we have distractions that can take us away from that. I saw a post this weekend that just passed where it was talking about there's so much disaster going on in the world and there's so much things going on and distractions that we don't even realize are distractions. I think things like, and this is not like to out at anybody. It's just understand what it is that you're investing your time into. I think a lot of things that we give meaning to and have value towards honestly isn't really that important. And I think there's so many things. I have a very extreme mindset when it comes to that. As you know, like for me, I don't really subscribe to sports and things like that because to me it doesn't make sense rooting for someone else's excellence when I'm just sitting on the sidelines. I think that everybody has their own opportunity in life to be the Michael Jordan of their own life, to be the Michael Phelps of their own life, to be the Messis of their own life. The reason people love to watch them is because they're viewing excellence. They're viewing somebody that actually accomplished major maximum things in their life and are actually reaching their full capacity while we're at home cheering them on. But why don't we begin to cheer for our own lives and actually start to pursue our own excellence and avoid these distractions? But what do you think about that?
I do agree with you that it is extreme. Your mindset is I mean, respect. I love that mindset. You are creating your own excellence. You are becoming the MJ of your own life. I love that. That's amazing. In my opinion, I grew up, of course, playing soccer. So to me, it was such a big deal watching, of course, the World Cup, Argentina and France. Amazing, amazing final. Messi's the best ever. Um, I don't make that comment. My point, what I'm trying to get at is I love sports, basketball. Here and there, I watch, Super Bowl, stuff like that. To me, I have been limiting the amount of screen time that I have for Netflix and Hulu and all this stuff, sports, um, in addition to sports. To me, it's almost a connection. And that's the way I view it. Our dad, my dad, right? He's a baller. I mean, basketball, right?
Best
To
three
me,
pointer in the world.
exactly. The best shooter, left, right, everything. He's got it all. Calipatria, gotta shout out Calipatria. Yep, 1993 champs. California went to states. Unfortunately, didn't win, but won regionals, won districts. Amazing player. Shout out to El Guille. Anyways, everything that I share with him when it comes to we watch golf together, soccer, Liga MX, basketball. To me, I'm not against that because I know that I'm sitting with my dad. We're enjoying watching some sports and we can connect together, right? To me, it's extremely valuable. Those are seconds, minutes that aren't going to be there forever, right? So I love that. Where you're coming from on creating one's own excellence, I completely agree with you. We are watching these people, as you stated, because they are excellent, because they are professionals, because what they do is amazing, right? Messi, such a beautiful touch on the ball. Michael Jordan, basketball, LeBron James, Steph Curry, all of these great players, right? And honestly, I get what you're saying. The only thing that I have to add is their excellence is very admirable, right? We can see the obsession that they have towards the game, towards their craft. To me, when I watch it, I think about how can I work on my craft? What can I grab from their excellence, the way they do things, and apply it to my own self? It really depends mentality. I really think that you can take some time and enjoy, watch. There's nothing wrong with it, but it always comes back to where am I at? You know, have I achieved life to an extent to be able to just sit down, relax? And I don't really think there's anything wrong with it, right? Again, it's whatever you put in, you're going to get out, right? So if you want to take the time to watch sports, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I've done it. I still do it here and there. Adrian, you're very extreme, and I respect it. Um, it's the reason why you've done such great things. Like as we spoke previously, you're such a great communicator because clearly you've been focusing on the communication rather than watching sports, you know? So by all means, I completely agree with what you're saying.
I think that the mindset that I have comes from understanding that everybody in this world is in competition for your time. Like, no matter where you go, someone is trying to steal your time, someone is trying to steal your focus. And because the more you're focused on their product or their service, the more you're not focused on becoming a competition for them. And I think this world is about everywhere you go, your phone is a distraction. Like, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm saying we need to be cautious of understanding where we're at in life and do we really have the luxury to just relax and allow these distractions. There's things that could be done in moderation, right? But not overly, being like abusing these things, right? And I've
Mhm.
always kind of thought of like, how am I supposed to sit here and celebrate and cheer for people that don't even know I exist when I'm looking at my life and I'm not winning at my life, but I'm cheering at other people win at their life? I've never kind of tried to connect those dots, but what you said is very valuable. I think I've switched my perspective when I came to understand the reason why people love to come to watch these players and these people that perform, not even players, just people that are CEOs of companies, people that are at maximum excellence in their craft or in their industry. It's admirable because of what they've accomplished, because of the standards that they've set for themselves, because of the execution that they've done. So I can understand it from that point, but it's also, like I said, in moderation. I think we need to learn how to invest time within ourselves and actually grow our own skill sets to become excellent and win at our own life. So, um, I guess for me, like, it's funny to see how people support random kind of strangers, but they don't support their dreams and even people around them, right? Like, there's so many people that kind of knock each other down because of each other's success and things like that. And I think it's really important to acknowledge that why don't you succeed in your life? Why don't you become, like you said, the Michael Jordan of your own life? And I wanted to see for you, maybe if someone's out there listening and is ready to take that step into that direction, what are some recommendations or what did you do to actually start your journey in that right direction?
That's a great question. I do want to come back to that. I love the question. I really do want to come back to that. Just give me one. Something that I want to add is I think something that is very big nowadays is like you said, your phone and the distractions ultimately, right? I feel like one of the most important things that are very valuable to me is do you remember the time when we went out to Kissimmee where on our way there we said, "Hey, let's check and see how often we're on our phones rather than spending quality time with the family." And I think it goes back to the distractions. When you're at the dinner table, you should not be on your phone. You should really be focusing on quality time with your family and realizing the importance living like being present in the moment. And I think it's extremely important. It ties together the distractions ultimately. All ties together at the end of the day. And but that's something I did want to include. But back to your question, what is something that I have done to move over? Is that what if you don't mind rephrasing it?
Yeah, so maybe you were distracted, you were more focused on other people's success, but at some point, you have created a level of success in your industry and in your life and even in yourself. So, for someone who's out there who's listening to this that might want to start, might want to actually say, I'm tired of not winning in my own life, don't give them advice, but share your story of how you began. What was your journey to actually move steps into the right direction?
So one of the biggest reasons why I've done and I've changed a bit on that part of my career, my personal life it always goes back to the why. Why are you doing it? Is it because you want to try to change the world? Is it because you want to be the best person you can become? Is it because you want to make your people proud? It always goes back to your why. So for example, for me, when I began as a framer, again, shout out HGC Framing LLC. I can't thank Gustavo enough. I didn't realize I didn't know how to use a hammer. I didn't know how to use a drill. So it was as simple as that. That's my why. Whenever I grow up in the future and I'm in my own place, I want to be able to do things on my own. I don't want to have to call somebody up for any little repair, drywall, or whatever the case is. That was my why. The important thing in that is you understand how to do a craft, but you also cannot let opportunities get by you. I know this is kind of changing the subject, but that's ultimately how it led to be where I'm at today. Again, I still have a long ways to go. You know, I'm not perfect at all, but I'm heading in the right direction to just be better every single day. I took the opportunity, and then here we are. Another thing is, along with the why, is I started to really surround myself around people who didn't allow those distractions to affect their day-to-day lives. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. You start to surround yourself around these people who are just hungry. And a really good saying is if if you walk into a room, and I'm gonna butcher this like crazy, but when you walk into a room, you want to be the dumbest person in the room. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
That's right.
And I know I butchered it, but
That was great.
I think it ended up coming out pretty well. Proud of myself.
Yeah, that's a powerful.
Be the dumbest person in the room. Be the dumbest person in the room. Because those people that you look up to that are surrounded about around you that are just hungry to learn and grow, there is it's not if, but it's when you become like those people. If it's anything in general, right? Fit, getting big, learning finances, growing a business, becoming a contractor, um, becoming a great communicator, anything along those lines. If you surround yourself around an environment like that, there's no way that you will not become that. So that is the second crucial one for me. So it's the why, and then it's being around those people who don't waste the time and become something. That's
Yeah,
all that I
I
got.
think to kind of share my perspective is I think we've all had dreams growing up. I remember, they're all, I mean, every kid had their poster of a Lamborghini on their wall, right?
Mm.
And as we grow up, it's almost like people start to downgrade their dreams to match their reality when they should be increasing their faith, their execution, their action to then match their vision instead of like minimizing your life, like how did you have a poster of a Lamborghini or how did you have a poster or a background on your phone of a mansion and you're living in a one bedroom apartment with a Toyota Prius and you're okay and satisfied? There's nothing wrong with those vehicles, but you've had such larger dreams, you've had such larger goals, and you automatically didn't give yourself the opportunity to expand your capacity to reach those dreams. Like increase your faith to match that vision. Don't downgrade your dreams because of the life that you're currently living. Work towards it. And when I look at it like that, I like to backwards engineer my life. If this is my dream and this is the outcome that I want, well, what are the steps to do to get there? If you don't know what steps to do to get there, I can promise you, you know what steps not to do to not get there. And just do the opposite of that, right? Instead of doing things that you know aren't going to get you there, do the opposite of that. If I want to be a financial independent so that I can have all of these dreams fulfilled, well, do you think that's going to look like going out every weekend and spending all the money that I have and not having anything? No, like you know what not to do, so just do the opposite. And I think from that moment forward, there's a very powerful exercise that um, it's write the top 300 things you want to do before you die. And when you do that, your mind will then start to work on those things. Well, how do I execute to actually be able to do these things? Because again, we settle for less. We settle for more than we have potential to. See, we were created by God for excellence, but we settle for mediocrity because of society, because of the way that the environment has created us and minimized our potential. But I'm here to tell you that our potential is uncapped. It's all up to you. So when I say that, I look at things, how do I expand my capacity? Well, be uncomfortable. If you're comfortable, like Adan said, you are not in the right place. Change happens in the zone of uncomfortability. So, for you, Adan, how did you make that decision to actually become uncomfortable and pursue that path with and be okay with that feeling? Because I think a lot of people love to be comfortable, and that really affects the path that we're going on.
Give me 1 second. This is gonna be the perfect. So my mom one day, I have my calendar in the back. She came to me and she actually put this on my calendar.
Great things never come from comfort zones.
So when I was probably growing up, probably young, maybe late teens around there, she put that and I really never paid attention to it. Never. Until one day when I told Gustavo, hey, I want to go work with you, become a framer. And I started working as a framer. It was very challenging, was not easy. And I finally got around to look at that. And I'm like, wow, somehow, some way it clicked in my head to just do something different that you'd never think you'd do in your life. And it's absolutely amazing. The fact that I took that step was not easy. I mean, my respect to all of these guys out in the field, man. They do an absolute insane job. And it's the truth. I ever back, when I was a superintendent, I always told them all, you guys are the reason, you guys are the ones moving the needle. It's not these guys up top, the big guys. Without you guys doing all this hard work in the field, we got no homes being built. We got no, like so it's one thing, it's respect to them, right? It's very challenging. It's a lot of hard work, but ultimately that was where it started. I started to realize what I got out of it by becoming uncomfortable and by making a change. I think that if you are comfortable and you aren't having issues and you aren't having struggles, it's almost as if, what are you doing? Like you should run into problems with your, whether it's with your business or with your, your personal development or your finances. Run into problems, learn from those problems, and then change them. If everything is so just calm and relaxed and comfortable, how are you growing? How are you learning? How are you changing? Um, but yeah, it's powerful. It's extremely powerful. Just find the change, be the change. You can change.
Yeah.
It takes that, it takes a step. It's not easy. It is challenging, but just go for it. Go for it. Go ahead.
It's crazy because one thing that I've heard, which is it's kind of ironic, but you start to like marinate in the sentence and it goes like this. If you don't change, nothing changes. And that is so powerful because it's like we are a culmination of the decisions we made up until this point. And if we continue to live the way that we're living, our life is not going to change. So if we're not where we want to be, something has to change. And I think people are afraid of that the comfort zone, escaping it, because then that's when adversity comes and resistance comes in. But you got to think about it like anything else. If you're going into the gym and you're creating and building muscle, the reason why you're building muscle is because you're creating resistance within the muscle. With no resistance, there is no growth. You need resistance for growth. So when you escape the comfort zone and you get out of your comfort zone, you're gonna experience adversity. You're gonna experience resistance. But it's all about the perspective that you need to have, right? This is God putting this in my way to grow me. He's putting this adversity to build my capacity, so then I can overcome things like this in the future. So I think it's just very powerful to embrace the resistance.
Amazing. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
Well, I don't mean to cut the podcast short, but I got a meeting to hop into. But I found a lot of value out of this conversation. I would love to get your exit closing thoughts.
Short, quick conversation about um unfortunately, there is distractions out there. Unfortunately, it's whether you let those distractions take over your life or you take over those distractions, put them to the side, and make the change. Um, the why is it that if you want these distractions out of your life, why? Why? What is the greater purpose? And then be the dumbest in the room. I think it's really, really, really crucial. So, um,
One thing
anyways,
I'll close, or go ahead,
I don't
finish.
know.
I'm
You
sorry. I
could,
thought you were
I finished
completed.
up. I finished
Okay.
up.
I wanted to say I've experienced that firsthand. I feel like when I was the 98%, and then eventually I've worked my way up to be part of the 2%. But then the goal is to immediately get back into the 98%, which is a new room, right? So I've come to Atlanta and I thought I was doing things well. And then I see people in Atlanta. I'm like, wow, okay, there's still so much more to grow. So I immediately went to the 98% again. Now I'm a part of the 98% here in Atlanta, but my goal is to get to the top 2%. But as soon as I get to the top 2%, now it's time to get into the 98% again. And then the cycle continues to repeat and the capacity continues to grow. You continue to grow as a person, and then life is you negotiate your reality. So it's powerful to see.
Last thing I do want to say, I love that we try to close it out, but we just can't. The conversation just keeps coming. So that's amazing. I love it. But definitely we'll close it out. You got your meeting coming up. Adrian, it's an honor always speaking to you. Thank you so much. And grateful to God that we're able to do these, post these up. Thankful for my parents for laying the foundation. For Nina, shout out. All the family. Love the family. Yep.
Yeah, so thankful for all the support that we've been getting, the messages, the kudos, the
Definitely.
congratulations. I appreciate you, Adan, for everything that you do, and I appreciate family, I appreciate God, and I'm just thankful to be here. So thank you so much again. Have a good night, bro.